Let me ask you something. Have you ever had that feeling, that weird low-level background tension you cannot explain? Like there's some type of storm brewing just beneath the surface, but you just keep smiling and you keep going about your day as if everything is fine. You are doing everything right. You hit the gym, you show up to work, you take care of people, you keep your word. Maybe you even meditate and journal. But deep down, something still feels off. Like you are dragging a weight that no one else can see. Like some part of you is screaming for more, but you're not even sure what that more is supposed to feel like anymore. It's not depression. It's not really burnout. It's something else. A quiet disconnect from that inner fire. And the most scary part is that you are probably used to it by now. That low-level numbness. It almost feels normal. And you start questioning yourself, wondering maybe this is how life is supposed to be, right? After all, maybe this is how I'm supposed to live. But deep inside, in your gut, you know better. You are not broken, you are not lazy, you are not weak. You are just disconnected from your edge. And honestly, most men are, especially nowadays, right? Because the world we live in is perfectly designed to keep you numb, to keep you comfortable, distracted, and pacified. You wake up and bam, right away, cheap dopamine hits, and that dopamine hijacks your brain before your feet even hit the ground. We've got TikTok, Instagram, notifications, email, sugar, porn, Netflix, dating sites. Now, before you even take your first real breath of the day, your nervous system is under attack, right? You don't even have a chance to build any grounded energy because it's already being drained by digital noise and mental junk food. Now, modern society is not attacking men with weapons. It is sedating them with comfort. And slowly over time, let's face it, most men forget who they are. And maybe sometimes you feel like this as well. You most likely have been told, be always nice. Don't be too intense. Don't rock the boat, right? Be safe, right? Shrink yourself so other people don't feel uncomfortable. Blend in. Don't ruffle any feathers. And over time, you stop trusting your own fire. In fact, you don't even see that fire anymore. And before you know it, you are apologizing for even taking up the space. You are busy, maybe even productive, but are you moving the needle on what truly matters to you, right? The mission, what you really want to do with your life? You are liked, but are you respected? You are here, but are you truly alive? Deep inside, you know that something is off, but it's just easier to scroll, to stay busy, to distract yourself from that inner voice that is whispering to you. And by the way, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people don't want to admit, but in my opinion, this is the reality. If you are not connected to a true mission, if you are not challenged on a regular basis, if you are not surrounded by men, like real men who sharpen you day after day, you are dying. Maybe not all at once, but slowly and quietly, a thousand of tiny compromises at a time. You are slowly dying, second after second. That restlessness you feel inside, that low level of background tension, that noise, it is a signal. It is a signal you gotta listen to because deep down you know that you were not built for the sedated life. You were built to protect, right? You were built to help people you care about, to lead when others hesitate. You were built to stay calm when shit hits the fan, right? To handle pressure without folding, to face the hard stuff and just keep showing up no matter what, right? You were meant to be dangerous, but in control. And there's a big difference. Powerful, but grounded. And also kind, but firm, right? So not being nice for the sake of being nice, so other people may like you, but being genuinely a kind person, right? And yet here we are in a world that celebrates softness and punishes any type of strength, right? A world where being a good guy means being always agreeable, always submissive, and pretty much emotionally neutered. And this is why so many men walk around with 30, 40, 50 tabs opened in their heads, but no fucking mission, not a single mission. Not really knowing why am I here on this earth? What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? Before we continue this video, I just want to let you know that if you want to get more of this type of content, please subscribe to this channel and also click on the link below the video to get access to exclusive content for free. So here's the truth. You don't necessarily need more motivation or some another morning ritual or another hack or brand new affirmation. You don't need that. What you need is a crucible. A real challenge, a test, right? Something that's gonna force you to face your shadow. Something that's gonna strip away all the noise and essentially push you to meet your edge, right? In a way, I'm talking about the rite of passage that you earn through struggle. Because for the most of the human history, men had to go through something, right? Some type of a test, a challenge, a moment where the boy is basically stripped away, right? And meets a man, right? You gotta kill the boy in order for the man to step forward. So when you think about tribes in the Amazon, they have young boys basically put their hands into gloves filled with stinging bullet ants, right? And it's one of the most painful things that you can do. And on top of that, those boys couldn't show any emotion. They just have to stand there in complete pain, emotionless. Or for example, in ancient Sparta, boys were taken away from their mothers at the age of 7. And they're basically thrown into brutal military training. So they were learning how to fight, how to survive. And of course, they were learning how to suppress any type of fear and sharpen their instincts. Now, in certain cultures in some parts of the world, they would literally take teenage boys and they would send them into the wild. No help, no guidance, pretty much just you and the elements. Now, if you come back alive, congrats, man, you've made it. If you don't, well, I guess you were not ready, right? So let's face it, no matter what the culture is, a rite of passage is important. And look, I'm not saying that you gotta go crazy and suddenly you get on a plane, you fly into Amazon, track down one of those tribes, and put your hand into one of those gloves with bullet ants. Not saying that. Or trying to survive 5 days of a tribal beating. It's not about that, right? But it's about finding your own personal crucible. And let's be real. A rite of passage meant something, okay? It marked a moment. It marked some type of a shift. Now, today, for the most part, that moment is gone, right? That sacred transition from boy to man, it has been replaced by soft routines, by cheap dopamine hits, and people telling you, hey, be nice, stay in your little corner, don't ruffle any feathers. So what happens? Well, most guys never cross that line. So many guys never experience a rite of passage. No serious challenge that forces you to level the fuck up, right? So you just drift, right? You are stuck in between. Not really a boy anymore, but not feeling truly like a full man either. And this is why so many guys nowadays feel lost. They feel off. They feel stuck in this no man's land, right? And maybe you can resonate with this, right? Like there is no shame in it. In fact, admitting to yourself that you feel a certain way can be really powerful because everything comes from self-awareness. But the problem is that we are soft as a society. And without purposeful struggle, purposeful pain, you forget who the fuck you are. This is why embracing some form of a crucible is so important. And it's not just about doing a workout or reading a book or taking an online course. I'm talking about a real challenge, something that's gonna put you in the fire and something that's gonna force you to show up differently, to become a different version of yourself. The thing is, no one is gonna do it for you. There is no invite, there is no welcome committee, right? You just gotta proactively choose it and get straight into it. And it may mean signing up for some type of an expedition that scares the living shit out of you. It may mean joining a group of men who will not let you coast, who will keep you accountable. It may mean embarking on a solo adventure, right? Perhaps going into the wild, going into the mountains by yourself for a week or 2 or 3 weeks and just diving deep within, figuring out who you truly are. What is your purpose? What has been missing in your life, right? Maybe it's about embracing hard conversations, the types of conversations you didn't want to have, but you know they are important, right? Perhaps it's finding your mission, something that you've been putting off, something that, you secretly know you want to do it. You know you want to embrace that thing, but You've been cutting your own wings because of fear, because of, possible rejection, possible failure, right? So now is the time to really embrace it. Find that crucible and go forward. And whatever it is, it has to be real. It has to have stakes, right? It has to push you beyond the edges that you just kept dancing around. Because until you face something that could possibly break you, you'll never find out what can actually build you, right? So to truly find yourself, to figure out who you are, well, you have to dance in that zone of discomfort. And the truth is that most guys are just waiting, right? They're waiting for the right time. They're waiting for feeling ready. But in reality, you will never feel fully ready. This is the point, right? It's about jumping in there into the discomfort when you are not feeling ready so you can become that better version of yourself, more grounded, more focused, right? Feeling that fire deep inside. So I want you to stop waiting. I want you to pick your crucible and enter that fire. Now, before we wrap up, I want to say this. Masculinity is not about domination. It is not about control, right? It's not about raising your voice and trying to show off and trying to prove to other people that you are better than them. Real masculinity is about helping and protecting others, okay? It's about owning your energy in chaos. It's about being a calm presence when everyone else is losing their shit, right? When people are panicking, you are the type of man that people can trust, right? That people feel comfortable around. This is real masculinity. And let's be real. Becoming a man like this is not something that you simply learn by reading a couple of books, right? It is forced through action. You gotta enter that phase of discomfort. And most men never get a chance, right? Because they are too busy chasing that cheap dopamine, chasing validation, trying to be liked by everyone else, trying to get approval. But when you're busy chasing all of those little transient things, you are forgetting who you truly are, right? So if you're still watching this, you already know deep inside that there is more, right? There is more in you, and you are definitely not broken, right? Maybe you're a little bit lost. Maybe you are under challenged, right? Maybe you are under sharpened by other men, under tested. But there is a fire deep inside of you, and you know that you deserve more. And you know you want to push yourself to become a better version of yourself. I genuinely hope that this video will not be just a little dose of temporary motivation, but that it actually allows you to remember who the fuck you were, right? Who you were before the world basically told you to tone it down, right? Before life ended up piling up different layers of comfort and guilt and noise on top of you, right? Before you started apologizing just for your existence and definitely apologizing for any edge that you may have. And now it's really up to you. What will you do with that fire, with that trigger that you have after watching this video? Will you go back to distractions? Being busy for the sake of being busy? Taking your phone and just swiping and maybe going on some dodgy site, right? On a dating app, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram? Or will you stop for a moment and recalibrate and ask yourself, what is that feeling really that Jimmy has been talking about in this video? Who am I really? Who do I want to become? Right? What is my rite of passage? What is my crucible that I can set for myself to give myself an opportunity to tap into who I am meant to be? How can I toughen myself up? How can I embrace discomfort? How can I create purposeful pain in my life in order to become a more powerful man? Now it's up to you, right? It's up to you. You can do all of that. So rather than watching the next video, I highly encourage you to sit down and ask yourself, what have I learned from this video? And just commit to taking action. Find your crucible and embrace it. And I'm telling you, based on my experience of embracing all types of rites of passages, different crucibles, from training Thai boxing twice a day with Thai fighters, to going into the mountains, right? Doing crazy 20, 25-minute ice baths, right? Going up the mountain and swimming in Antarctica, in freezing water, right? Doing things like that. What I've learned is that those things are hard, but What is harder is the pain of regret. And whenever you do those hard things, you always emerge as a better person because you learn so much about yourself. It's so easy to be calm, to be zen when you are chilling in Bali in a beautiful villa, right? You've got a coconut, you just had a foot massage, the sun is shining. Oh, I am zen, I feel amazing, right? It's easy to feel amazing when you are in LA in a nice condo, right? You just finished a surfing session in the morning and life is good and you're making a lot of money and you have friends and beautiful family. That's easy. What is not easy is to put yourself into the fire and still maintain your composure. And this is why, as men, it's so important to embrace those types of situations. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, post a comment. And as always, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on videos like this one. Thank you so much.